I'm Nathan Judah. I'm here with Wolverhampton Wanderers reporter. It is Mr. Liam Keane. Liam Keane, I can't believe it. Can't believe what I'm about to say. Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. Manchester City, best side in the world, 1. Put into words what we've just seen over those 97 minutes.
Well, for all of the criticism that we've given Wolves and given Gary O'Neill, and rightly so by the way, for the way that they've performed in certain games, not all games this season, and particularly coming off Ipswich as well, credit where credit is due. Gary O'Neill got it spot on today, absolutely spot on tactically. Was it pretty? No.
Not at times.
No, Wolves had to sit in, they had to dig in, they defended well, and they had to look after the ball when they did have it, but they did all of those things absolutely brilliantly. When they didn't have the ball, they were disciplined, they were compact, they were hard to break down. When they did have the ball, they would look dangerous.
They did look
Hwang
dangerous.
Looked brilliant, Neto brilliant, Boubacar Traoré coming on again by the way, 2 or 3 games in a row now he's played or come on, and I think he's been brilliant. So Wolves really impressive, and O'Neill and the team deserve that for that performance.
They knew they weren't going to have the line share possession today, and yet when they got the ball, they used it so well. It's been coming back, there've been stray passes every single game, but here they've used it so well. And then obviously when Pedro Neto gets that first chance, cuts inside, I mean it was really similar to what he did against Luton to put them 1-0 ahead. Just brilliant use of possession when they did get it.
Yeah, really smart in possession, weren't they? Really useful with the ball. And look, it wasn't a particularly good cross or cutback from Neto. You got a little bit of luck, but you create your own luck when you go on a run like that. And he's been on absolute fire this season. He's been unbelievable, and he's running himself into the ground. You see him in, late on in the second half there. He's struggling to keep up with the play, keep up with the ball, but he's running himself into the ground for the team. And when the quality is needed, the quality is there from him. And then the same for Hwang in the second half. That's 5 goals in 8 games now in all competitions for Hwang. He needs 1 more goal to equal top goal scorer last season. And we're in end of September. He's been absolutely brilliant as well. So those 2 players stand out. But I might be trumping a question of yours here, but I'm going to pick these 3 out as well. Totti, Dawson, Kilman did a number on the best striker in the world today.
Yeah, they were brilliant. Hardly got a kick. Well, I'm going to say one more player who I thought was huge in this win today, and he didn't play for Wolves, Matheus Nunes. Because I tell you what, he galvanised this crowd today.
Brilliant.
The boos around.
It
was fantastic. Didn't come out for the second half, went on strike in the changing room, but you look at it, and you think he was the type of guy to get, the fans needed to get angry, they needed to vent their frustration, and I felt that really helped things. You go 1-0 up as well, the cheers when he doesn't come out for the second half, and so I think 1, him, and 2, and I think this is the most important thing, and we'll be asking Gary O'Neill this afterwards, you look at the second half performances this season at Wolves, and they've been really poor.
Brutal.
And when you look at Alvarez, great free kick, João Gomez, poor free kick to give away, but it's a fantastic finish, and normally, what we've seen this season, heads would drop. Everybody thought, Man City are going to win this, they're going to win this 2-1, of course they're going to do, but to come back against the champions-elect, the Champions League champions, the Premier League champions, to come back and win that game is going to be huge going forward for this side.
Well, what questions did we ask the team on video after the Ipswich game? It was, where's the leadership, where's the heart, the bottle? They were shrinking violets, is the phrase I used on Tuesday night. They were anything but that today. They had a massive blow when Alvarez puts it in the top corner, and they could have easily, as they have done this season, retreated back into the shells, and they didn't do that. They were the opposite of that. It took 8 minutes for Hwang to score what turned out to be the winner, and even then, after that, yes, City had a lot of possession. Yes, there was balls going into the box. They had no clear chances.
They weren't hanging on, were they?
No, Wolves
wasn't making amazing saves.
Dawson's made 1 clearance off the line from Foden. Aside from that, Wolves were fairly comfortable in their defending. Yes, they were sitting back in 2 very, very deep banks of 4 and 5 really, defending, but they weren't under immense pressure, whereas we've seen in previous games this season, whether it's at the end of a game or beginning of a game, backs against the wall defending under a lot of pressure, and they weren't like that today. They were so disciplined and so compact at the right times, and then really expressing themselves going forward at the right times. I thought it was an excellent tactical display, as well as heart, bottle coming with the whole, everything you need really.
Defence pride themselves on clean sheet. For me, that was a clean sheet today.
Yeah, it was a clean sheet performance.
It was a clean sheet performance. They were superb. And to go to a back 5 or 3 and a 5, but it was a back 3 or a back 5. We've gone all the way around the house, haven't we, over the last 2 years, and back 4. Is it just a horses for courses approach there? Did they need to go to a 5? I think they look better as a 5. I genuinely do.
Well, they definitely look better today. I can see it being a horses for courses, as you like to say, scenario. I think Gary O'Neill will go back to 4. But
They look more solid though. They look
really good
threatening
today.
when they had the ball.
And to back up your argument, Semedo, I thought he was brilliant tonight.
Superb.
Or today rather. And my pick of the fullbacks would be Aït-Nouri. I thought he was superb, absolutely brilliant today, going forward and defensively. Hardly made a mistake. Made one in the first half where he gave the ball to Foden and Totti had to mop up for him, and Jose Sarr did really well as well. But aside from that, I thought he was almost flawless today, Aït-Nouri. So you can go through the team to a man and pick out every player, because there wasn't one bad performance on there. There was some better than others, of course, but not one bad performance, and that's the collective consistency that Wolves need now going forward.
Some of the players of Manchester City will be happy to get off that pitch. Nathan Ake, my goodness.
He had a torrid afternoon.
Wow.
Look, he's a very, very good footballer, of course he is. And he's been decent for them at fullback when he has played there. But Neto tore him to shreds. And to be honest, I thought that, I know that they're limited numbers at the moment, City, in terms of a few injuries, and whether they often play a centre half if it's not Gvardiol or Ake at left back.
Yeah, they only had 170 million on the bench, but they're struggling.
No. I'm not saying they're struggling, but in terms of the options that they have to play that position, I'd have thought that Pep Guardiola would look at the Liverpool game and look at Joe Gomez playing right back. Neto on the other flank, actually on the left this time, absolutely destroyed him. I'd have thought he'd have seen that and made a change.
He's played a lot of left back for Manchester City.
No, he has.
Predominantly left back in last season.
Neto ran him ragged, absolutely all over the place.
Obviously the fans needed this, obviously the players needed this. We said that Gary O'Neill's not under any pressure, as in like his job, when they hired him for the long term. However, you still need results in this game. How big is that for Gary O'Neill?
It's massive, because it's not just the isolated result here today, it's going forward into next week, Sunday, here against Villa.
Yeah.
You lose this.
Just won 6-1.
Exactly. You lose this today, Villa feels like a turning point game. Yeah. It really does.
It's like a watershed
now.
moment.
Exactly. Now, obviously, we don't want Wolves to go and lose on Sunday, but he's giving himself a bit more breathing space now, Gary O'Neill. Now, as you say, from what we're told and the people we speak to, he's not under pressure within the club to be sacked imminently, but at the same time, we know what football's like. You need results.
Yeah.
He's got that today, and he's not just got it in the manner of the performance, the manner of the goals taken, but as you said at the top of this video, the best side by quite a long way actually in the world. It's not that close. This is a top side, and Wolves were well worth that win today.
We talked pre-Luton, I guess, saying if they could beat Luton last weekend, 6 points from the first 6 games, it's not the end of the world after a difficult start. Well, if they did beat Luton and they got a point, I think we'd be absolutely buzzing for 7 from 7. The fixture list starts to get a little bit easier 3 or 4 games later. 7 from 7 is not the end of the world when you look at the teams that they've faced already.
No, it's amazing what one win will do.
Mate, it's crazy. You've got to be the best of the best.
No, exactly.
Huge.
And as you say, look, Villa, it's going to be tough, but at Molineux in that kind of West Midlands derby game, and Wolves got a good recent record here against Villa as well. Form doesn't really count for much, and Wolves have got every chance of winning that game on Sunday. And after that, you've got international break, but you've got Bournemouth away. You've got Spurs and Newcastle here, which is not necessarily easy, but you've got Sheffield United away, you've got Fulham away. You've got games here that Wolves should be picking points up in.
And you've got to make this a fortress now.
And you've got to make this a fortress, and it's a platform. This kind of result 100%. And performance, a platform. The standards were set against United. They were carried on in the first half against Liverpool. It was a different type of performance here today. But the standard's there, and Wolves have got to try and meet it.
I guess a mixture of emotions for you this afternoon, though, yeah?
I knew you'd do this. I have never been happier to have triple captained Haaland on my fantasy team.
I am so triple captain.
I'm so
no. Let's analyse this. How a Wolverhampton Wanderers reporter can triple captain an opposition player at Molineux at home? Disgusting.
Well, this is my first league win of the season. Yeah. I knew what I was doing.
Okay,
I knew what I was doing.
Jinx,
it was a reverse jinx. You triple captained me as a stinker.
I'm stunned. You're going to get so much SHIT for this on the body.
I don't care. I am so glad he had a stinker because I want Wolves to win. But as a backup to make me feel a little bit better tonight when they did lose 6-0 today and Haaland got a hat-trick, I triple captained him. So it was a win-win for me, really, when you put it that way. Every day of the week, I'd rather this scenario. I'd rather be bottom of our league and Wolves winning games.
Lovely. Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Manchester City 1 for all the post-match reaction. Make sure you log on to Express and Star. Can I do it?
Yeah.
.com!